Hey, welcome back. In this video, I want to show you some of the lighting tricks that I do to increase the production value of my video. This is my X-Carve setup with normal ambient light, and I do have a clamp light rigged up above to light the scene a little bit better. But what I want to share is some other tricks. I made this handy little flashlight to add some fill light to it. You can see there how it kind of highlights some of the shinier parts and fills in those shadows that the overhead light can't get to. You can also do some fun things like putting a colored gel over it to give you an accent light to the scene. So this is ambient light, overhead light, accent light, and a fill light, and you can see it's a very interesting scene. You can also take one of these cheap Harbor Freight flashlights and kind of tuck it away behind something and use that as your only light source to give a very interesting looking scene. And so this one I'm using the blue gel and a flashlight to have a really dramatic looking scene. And then this would be adding in that overhead light back into it for, you can see it a little bit better. This is the fill light that I use. I know not everyone's gonna have a 1,000-watt LED light and umbrella laying around. So I'm going to show you a quick trick that you can do with a flashlight and 3D printing. So I just modeled this up really quick in Fusion 360, and normally you would create a shell here and set your wall thickness, but I'm trying something different this time, and I'm leaving it solid, and I'm going to go into Cura and go into Expert Settings, and you can see here I'm going to check spiralize the outer contour and only follow mesh surface. What this is going to do is one, decrease the time significantly because it will print in a continuous spiral going around. Other software calls this vase mode, but this is the way to do that in Cura. So I printed that out, and it fits right over the top of my flashlight, and this diffuses the light that gives you a really nice glow to your scene that you can kind of tuck away anywhere and have it not visible to the camera. If you don't have a 3D printer, you can basically do the same thing with a sheet of plain copy paper. Here I'm just taking it, rolling it around my flashlight, and taping it up. This does an okay job. I think if I only rolled the paper over once, it would have been a little bit better. It's blocking a little bit more light than I wanted to, but you can get away with this kind of thing as well. But, you know, I have a 3D printer, so I'm going to 3D print it because that's awesome. And if you do this, I highly recommend getting rechargeable batteries or get a flashlight that takes 18650s, and you can charge those up and you're not going to be spending a ton of money on batteries because if you're shooting for a long period of time, you're going to be burning through batteries pretty quickly. So you can see here you can kind of switch it between different flashlights. The diameter of the top of this one's a little bit bigger than my other one, so it doesn't slide over the top. For those accent lights, I just had this blue dome from another flashlight that I was using to add color. If you don't have anything like that, you can just use spray paint. And here's another, I'm giving you some kind of another setup with the different lighting settings. So right now I'm just kind of making my own gels and adding some spray paint to some transparency. You could also use a Sharpie or, highlighter or anything like that. And one thing you want to make sure is, you can see here how it's translucent and you can see through it. If you use a spray paint that has a primer in it, it's going to be solid and it will actually block the light and not transmit it. Here's another setup with my 3D printer. I have my desk lamp over here lighting up the scene, which it does an okay job until you push the print backwards. So when it's actually printing, it's going to be in the shadows. And rather than rearranging my entire desk lamp, we can use this fill light again with the diffuser on it. And you can see here how it really fills in those shadows and gives a nice even glow to the scene. And the nice thing is this flashlight has a magnet on it. So you could stick it above on a metal surface and print. So you don't want to use a flashlight directly on it because you can see the harsh shadows and hot spots that it gets. So if you add the diffuser, so the shadows are very soft looking. And that you can see how small it is and kind of tuck it anywhere. So this is even more important when you are lighting yourself or another person. This is what it looks like when I have just my overhead lights when I'm filming a scene like this. And it's not super great. Kind of have the light coming down from the top, and I don't really have any fill lights from the side. And turn on that overhead light, bring back my LED. It should look really good now because of the side LED that I have over here, which is just a desk lamp. But then once we bring this into it, you can see it does a really good job lighting up my face. And it also gives some nice glow into my glasses area. So this is a really handy thing that you could kind of hold right in front of the camera, or even rig something up where it's on your hot shoe. And you can even have it just mounted as a very portable lighting, or when you're doing selfie videos, it's very handy and small and lightweight and compact. So yeah, so you can see, you can move the light around to get some different effects. If I turn off my main desk lamp here and then bring this in, you can see a bigger difference because I have worse lighting conditions. So you can even get a little crazier and turn off the majority of your lights and kind of get an effect like this. So I hope that gave you a few tips and ideas of how you can increase the production value of your video just with some very simple lighting tricks that you can either 3D print if you have that available, or just rig something up very simple with some paper, or really whatever else you have laying around. So let me know in the comments below if this was helpful or if there's anything else you want to learn. I'm gearing this towards makers, not photography and video geeks. So, I'm going to try to keep it very light and simple, and not get into the nitty gritty of all the nerdy photography and video things. So I hope this video was helpful. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. And I really like getting feedback from you guys, so leaving comments below really makes me feel good. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.